The following is a DW Ancient Egypt production. Khasekhemwy was the last king of the Second Dynasty. He may have been the son of Peribsen, or a rival who defeated Peribsen in battle. Khasekhemwy is normally placed as the successor of Peribsen, though some Egyptologists believe that another pharaoh, Khasekhem, ruled between them. Most scholars, however, believe Khasekhem and Khasekhemwy are, in fact, the same person. Khasekhem may have changed his name to Khasekhemwy after he reunited Upper and Lower Egypt after a civil war between the followers of the gods Horus and Seth. Others believe he defeated the reigning king, Peribsen, after returning to Egypt from putting down a revolt in Nubia. Either way, he ended the infighting of the Second Dynasty and reunited Egypt. Khasekhemwy, whose name can be interpreted as the two powerful ones appear, ruled for close to 18 years. The exact date of his reign in Egyptian chronology is unclear, but would fall roughly in between 2690 to 2670 BC. Khasekhemwy is unique in Egyptian history as having both the symbols of Horus and Seth on his sereth. A sereth was a royal crest that accentuated and honored the name of the pharaoh. Some scholars believe that this was an attempt to unify the two factions, but after his death, Seth was dropped from the sereth permanently. Khasekhemwy was one of the earliest Egyptian kings known to have built statues of himself. A limestone statue, restored from the fragments at Hierakonpolis, was discovered by the Quibble and Green excavations in 1897 to 98. The king is shown enthroned wearing the white crown, the symbol of Upper Egypt, and a close-fitting jubilee robe. His right hand is drilled for insertion of a separate object, probably a flail or scepter, and his name is scratched on the base within the early palace facade form of a cartouche. This statue, together with another in green siltstone, almost identical and also from Hierakonpolis, is the earliest surviving example of royal sculpture from Egypt. The base of the statue records a military campaign of the king against the inhabitants of the Delta, symbolized at the right front by a group of papyrus springing from the head of a bound figure being struck by a mace. The rest of the base is inscribed with the bodies of slain enemies, with the total 47,209 given on the front panel. Khasekhemwy is known for initiating numerous construction projects throughout Egypt, some of which can still be seen today in Hierakonpolis and Abydos. He built a unique and large tomb at Abydos, known as Tomb V, the last such royal tomb built in that necropolis. The trapezoidal tomb measures some 230 feet in length and is 56 feet wide at its northern end and 33 feet wide at its southern end. This area was divided into 58 rooms. Prior to some recent discoveries from the First Dynasty, its central burial chamber was considered the oldest masonry structure in the world, being built of quarried limestone. Here, the excavators discovered the king's scepter of gold and sard, as well as several beautifully made small stone pots with gold leaf-lid coverings, apparently missed by earlier tomb robbers. In fact, Petrie detailed a number of items removed during the excavations that included flint and copper tools, vessels filled with grain and fruit, and a large quantity of seals, among other smaller objects. Khasekhemwy built a funerary cult enclosure at Abydos called the Shenet-ez-Zebib. Originally thought of as a fort by earlier archaeologists, the structure is one of Egypt's oldest standing royal monuments and one of the oldest preserved mud brick buildings in the world. The two-part funerary complex, consisting of the underground tomb and the above-ground enclosure, is of great architectural importance as it portrays the earliest stages of the evolution of the pyramid. The structure includes two concentric rectangular enclosure walls. Most of the inner wall is intact, while only part of the outer wall remains. The enclosure walls stand 35 to 40 feet high in some places, but suffers from structural instability due to the elements of nature. The Shenet was built as a so-called funerary enclosure, a place where the deceased king was worshipped and memorialized. Such a place was called House of the Ka, or Ka House, by the Egyptians, and it was some kind of forerunner to the later mortuary temples known from the Old Kingdom period. Because of the stunning architectural similarities between Senet-ez-Zabib and the pyramid complex of 3rd Dynasty King Djoser, archaeologists and Egyptologists often describe the Middle Fort as a direct forerunner of the step pyramid complexes. The flat, stepped inner mount of the Senet-ez-Zabib is even considered a proto-pyramid. Khasekhemwy also built the Great Enclosure, one of the oldest known stone structures in Egypt. Located at Saqqara, this structure was called the Gazir el-Madur, which is Arabic for Bridge of the Chief. The structure consists of a rectangular wall oriented north to south and measuring about 2,100 by 1,150 feet. The style of construction suggests an original height of around 33 feet. This pattern recurs in the larger funerary complex of Djoser's step pyramid. The walls were probably completed, but no remains of a construction have been found within the center of the complex, and the monument remains somewhat of a mystery. The rectangular structure probably represents a transitional stage between the enclosures at Abydos and the step pyramid complex of Djoser. While the Second Dynasty may not be as well documented as some later periods, its significance lies in laying the foundations for the strong centralized rule, architectural marvels, cultural practices, and societal structures that characterized ancient Egypt for centuries to come. Our next episode will focus on Khasekhemwy's son, Pharaoh Djoser, the founder of the 3rd Dynasty of Egypt.